We are finally back on the race course. I really wanted to use this year as a learning experience because these are some of the hardest races in North Carolina. This is none other than the Triple Crown of Pisgah Series that I have registered myself for, which I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea. The event in question is none other than the Woods Mountain race. That climb is hell. It was definitely the hardest single climb in an event I think I've done, and it peaks at 37%.
How much farther to the top?
They're right, it's 3 more miles.
My training for these events, as I did no training. I rode my bike this past year as well as I could. I got in some hard efforts, but there was no structure to my training at all. So I really wanted to do these 3 events this year as a learning experience. So my goal going into this race was I wanted to do it in a sub 4 hour, especially never doing this event. So this event is about 37 miles. It's at Woods Mountain. It's a mass start. And my biggest goal though was with a race like this, it's just short enough that you need to have a halfway decent start, but it's long enough that you can make up time on something like the climb. So basically the first part of this course, they say go, we cross over 221. I commend the people that put the race on because they had every intersection blocked. They had cars leading us out through the public highways. They had it shut down. The cops were awesome. They took care of us. This was a very well run event, and I'm very much so looking forward to the other ones.
3, 2, 1.
So I absolutely love these kinds of starts, man. When you've got like 200 to 300 people on a start line and you're all just going at the same freaking time. So once we get across 221, I knew I needed to move up. I moved up a decent amount, but then, you know, when they're spread 3 wide across the road, it's hard to go anywhere, so you kind of just pick and choose when you can go. Dylan here, he's a great dude, friend of the bike shop for a very, very long time. Him, myself, Keith, and Casey were doing this event.
Hey Dylan, if you can pull for the next 40 miles.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'll be able to sit on. Let's get through this. All right.
All right.
I wanted to not blow myself up. I wanted to push the pace just a little bit, just enough to get Dylan with that lead group, and then once we would get with that lead group, I'd fall off. And I would just set a tempo of like 150 heart rate, nothing too high, something I could sustain for a while. This part of the course, once you start, you kind of go uphill a little bit. Goes up, 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 up. And then when you start coming back down, you'll have little bumps going back up as well. But it's mainly just access road. It's double track, nothing super difficult. The only thing that you have to watch out for is, I call them the water breaks. As you're descending and you're going 25, 30 miles an hour, there is a lot of water breaks. And if you are not paying attention, you're gonna hit one of those water breaks and it's gonna send you for a ride. So apparently I'm halfway decent at descending on gravel. That's not something I actually expected, but I was catching people left and right going downhill. So I ended up using that to my advantage, and I would take it easy going uphill and I would just let the brakes go going downhill. Ended up catching up with a group of dudes, kept the pace decent, nothing hard. My heart rate is about 150. Can really get yourself in trouble because the first few climbs out here are steeper and harder than you would think, and if you take them at speed, you're gonna be paying for it later on, so make sure you're conserving energy.
Oh. Yeehaw!
And we ended up latching onto another group, so there was probably, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 of us at this point.
Ooh!
Here I have no idea what happened. I just don't know. I have no idea what happened right here, but I do know my handlebar went right up this guy's butt though. That was kind of funny. So this is where you finished with the first section of the course and you're back on the road. I've got decent road fitness. I can just get in the aero position and just chug, chug, chug along. So I used that to my advantage, started reeling people in.
Am I winning?
Once we got out on the main drag here, we got a little pace car up front. We just rotated through like it was a dang road race.
Thank you.
I ain't got it long, bro.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. They were liars. Thank you guys.
So at this point you cut back across 221 and then it is a bit of a gravel slog for a little while until you actually hit single track. This single track at speed is actually kind of fun. I still wouldn't suggest somebody just drive all the way here just to ride this single track because you're so close to Old Fort, you're so close to Wilson's. At speed, this can be fun. It's a lot of switchbacks and you cross the creek, I swear, 5 or 6 times. These hills they can be hell towards the end of the race. You actually ride this portion of the single track twice. A lot of roots here. It's very steep. You gotta be careful. I wasn't paying attention. Let's move along.
Oh, I've been praying this whole time.
So after you get through the single track, you pop back out on an access road and you meander around for a little bit. There is an aid station, rest stop, water refill if you need any of that. I've got everything on me. I don't stop at the aid stations unless I really need to. here is the start of the climb in question. Depends on who you ask. It seems to be anywhere from 5 to 7 miles, because I swear halfway up it, 2 different people told me it was 3 miles to the top in 2 different sections. So I just put my head down. You climb, and you climb, and you climb, and climb some more.
You need by, let me know, buddy.
You good. All shots. You got a good postcard.
Woo!
That's a killer.
No kidding.
Well, you
Still got a ways.
3 miles to go. 3 miles of up. I'm gonna slide by you, Russ.
Go right ahead, dude. Good job.
Here, keep it going, come on. Just try to do this far.
Yeah, there he is. Here's the guy I was super proud of. So Keith, he never starts like super hard. He's very good at conserving energy. He's good at these events, and he's a great climber. I'm a mediocre climber. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that good at it.
How much farther to the top?
They're right, it's 3 more miles.
So you're climbing, right? And when it hits 37%, you better be like, your tire pressure must be perfect. Your power must be perfect. Your weight distribution must be perfect. Or something's gonna slip. That's what happened to me. I caught a little root. It sent me to the right, I think. And there was no way I was gonna make it up this. So at this point, after you've climbed for about 45 minutes straight uphill at max heart rate, like I think for this hour, my heart rate average was about 180. Once you get here, you just have to walk it, man. So I walked for a while, and it's so steep that my calves started cramping. Like I'm not a runner, man. I think I need to start doing this for this event because it would help. Maybe hill sprints or something, not necessarily running, but my calves were screaming by the time I got to the top of this dang thing, man. So you make it to the top, and this was probably one of the most disappointing parts of this entire race. You think, man, I've been climbing for a long time and I'm making it to the top of the mountain. There has to be a beautiful view up here. No, there's not. That's a farce. The view is obscured by all the brush that's on top of this thing. The only way I can describe the woods on the top of Woods Mountain is thick. It was so thick that I had a very hard time seeing around each turn, and since I've only pre-ridden this descent once, I really didn't know what to expect. And I was taking it ginger going down this stuff, man. I'm a little embarrassed by some of the video, but I was going slow. I was riding the brakes way harder than I should have, but I think partially it was due to not being able to see, and because I had just went up that climb and I felt like I was about to die going down this because I could barely squat. I think I was just, you know, a little nuts from climbing for an hour.
Oh, that's a steep son of a. Oh. Huh.
So you're descending, right? You get through that, it dumps you back out on a gravel road. You take that gravel road back to where you entered it the first time. So right here, we're turning right. We actually came at the beginning of the race up from the other side and turned left onto it. So all of this is stuff that we have ridden before, doubles back on itself, and you get to ride that single track yet again. I don't show a lot of it here because it's kind of boring, but it's like 6 miles of a, I don't know, like 3%, 4% downhill. It's got some little kickers in it, but it is mainly downhill for like 6 miles. So you get a nice recovery after that grueling hill. After that, you enter back into the single track, and you've got all those tiny little kicker climbs that I swear have to be almost 20%. Like they're rough your second go around. A lot of creek crossings, man. Got to be careful with those creek crossings.
Oh yeah.
This little part right here, I had to get off and push. Like I hit that root right there. You can actually see it. My rear wheel or my rear tire slipped out. Had to get off and run this part.
That's what I was thinking. What the So you know you're getting close once you get to the bottom of the single track and you start hitting some rollers again. You go over a bunch of them. They're just up and down, up and down, up and down the whole time. that one. Thank you, thank you.
So you get through the mud and you have the biggest creek crossing of the entire race, and it's deeper than it freaking looks here, man. At this point, we're getting close to the end of the race, and in my head, I'm like, I'm freaking hitting it. I am not walking unless I have to.
Woo! Well, that was refreshing.
Then once you get across the creek there, man, it is just a long slog back to the top. Nothing difficult, but it's uphill. And then you hit an access road, and there you go. You are back to the start finish.
I ended up 6th, and I'm not complaining about that. You guys know that I'm a super competitive person, and I would much rather be racing for the win. This year has been a major challenge for me because I have not, besides short track, but short track, so whatever. I haven't been racing for the win like I normally would. I've been at like, 5th, 6th place is what I've been typically. So I am excited to see what happens next year when I can actually put forth the effort that these events deserve. But all in all, they are extremely well run. You get food after. The support is amazing. I would recommend these events to anybody. Like I said, I pre-rode this course and thought it was terrible, raced it, and it was a blast. I had fun. I will be back. I want to do it again, and I'm super excited for ORAAM, and hopefully I will be able to improve my fitness, maybe take some steroids or something in the next couple weeks, because I've only got 5 weeks left until ORAAM. Oh, God help me.
Wow! How was it?
It's like never got to end.
Box on.
Oh,
well,
yes.
We all did plenty of running.
Well, you better take a picture because I ain't never doing that race again.
I think we all have.
You did a sub 5?
Uh-oh. What? Go get on. Go get on your podium. Yeah, let the hair down. Come on.
She's got it. Oh, no,
Hold on, she got to do her makeup.
She just went, oh, hell yes.
He's working on it.
Yeah, so are you going to do this race again now?
Yeah.
Get those kids riding fast.
It changed everything.